know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened.
Peace, peace, and blessing. This another night, another day in the newsroom. I'm your host, Henry, and your co-host, Shin Akma JML. What's up? What's up? How everything going?
Hey man, it's chilling out here, just getting back into these news stories. Got some major stuff going on this week.
Yes. Peace to everybody in the audience. Much love. Yes. I hope everybody had a wonderful week. Today we're going to be talking about the subcontinent of Asia. That's India and Pakistan. With a little dabble with a little countries in the surrounding regions. We had brought to you the question on the first show in the assumption of what might occur after a terrorist attack in India, province of Kashmir. The second show, we iterated the necessity of not causing a conflict of the implications of what might occur. And also the India attack on Pakistan. Now we have an update on after that occurred, Pakistan attacked India with missiles and drones. Some of these missiles came from China. Some of these drones came from Turkey. We're going to show you the implications of what's going on because some of the neighbors who sold weapons to Pakistan is getting backfire on them, and some of them taking aggressive steps forward. So let us dig deep. So let's go into our first story onto the missile and drone attack that Pakistan carried out on India. The world is watching. It's a shifting dynamic. We don't know where it's going, where it's going to end. But we do see what's going on in front of our face in real time. So yeah, shit, I heard that none of the drones and none of the missiles caused any damage, that the India missile system was able to defend the nation. What is your analytic of that?
Hey, you already know. We got to bring it to the streets because most people understand the streets, right? We all grew up out here in the world in the streets in America. So you know what I mean. Personally, I think it was just like a equivalent of them shooting in the air or pulling the gun out and not shooting nobody. You know what I'm talking about? It was like a fear tactic more than it was really a show of strength. You know what I mean? And I think it's pretty obvious Pakistan's out muscled right now. Because if Pakistan wasn't out muscled, they wouldn't have had to do a terrorist attack as the initial attack anyway. Even though I do have to agree with the Indian media, the Western media has been downplaying it by calling these people militants when we need to say outright these people's terrorists. You know what I'm saying? And it's that they're terrorists because they're not using any high grade military weaponry. They didn't. Pakistan hit them with some ICBMs. We didn't see no ICBM response. They came with some basic regular drones. They didn't come with no high tech drones. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come with none with sidewinder missiles on it or Gatling guns or anything of that type of nature where they could have actually done some damage. If you ask me, I feel like Pakistan, you know what I mean? They might have bit off more than they could chew at this point.
Yeah. See, I feel like it's a calculated move by their backers because on the backdrop, I was witnessing stocks and companies like when it was known that India knocked down China missile. Pakistan airplane did not really cause any damage or did anything really impactful in the battle. So with that, the company who created the jets that Pakistan used from China, the stock market went down. And when it was known that Pakistan might have knocked down a French jet that was provided to India, the French company stocks went down as people, the world is watching because India is number 2. They was number 1, but they are number 2 weapon importers. I hope I said it right. Importer is when you take in weapons.
Correct.
Okay. Outside of them, Ukraine is number 1 right now, receiving a lot of weapons from other countries. India, they receive a lot of weapons, but majority of their weapons, like 60% of their weapons, come from Russia. And some of their other weapons, they shop around. And a lot of their jets, they had bought the French jet. So in that, India defense spending is higher than Pakistan. Pakistan is go to the IMJ, the International Monetary Fund, and is a serial, let me say it right, a serial borrower. They got to borrow money and fix their system oh so often. And it's one, like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I don't think Pakistan can afford a war. And I believe that it's a diversion with the Indians because the Indians is not like China. And it's not like England. That China will go to the far right and say no. And try to grab followers to follow them. England.
Also, I have a higher understanding that it's if it's Turkey and that aiding Pakistan in the attacks, that's also going to go for bringing in a greater Western presence based on the fact if India shoots down one of them Turkish jets or shoots down one of Turkey's drones, I mean, now they're going to have a NATO response because remember, Turkey is in NATO and NATO got the arms pact that if any of their equipment gets attacked by a foreign entity, that the NATO has to come to the aid. So if you ask me, I agree with you, what you just said earlier in the beginning of your analysis, that it's a way for the key players of the West to move in without having to actually be moving in on a technical term. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have to attack United States, or they didn't have to attack France. They didn't have to attack EU, et cetera, et cetera. But they attack a NATO. But if they attack somebody who's in the arms pact with NATO, aka Turkey, they shoot down them drones. It's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean? And we already seen that the West is highly invested in Pakistan.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's just, I just see it as this is just another way for them to try to make more conflict that, United States, we make money off weapon sales. So what can we do?
So this is what I want to show real quick. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. This is a proposal for a long time ago. I've been paying attention to this and other pipeline. Iran wanted to build a pipeline from Iran to Europe. That would have went through Iraq, Syria, into Lebanon, or straight from the port of Tartarus and into Europe. America stopped that by going into Syria. This is what's going on that most people need to realize why India problem is going on at this moment. Let me share the screen. Okay. Can you see it, or should I blow it up more?
We got a good gist of it there.
Okay. Can you see my mouse? It's in Iran right now.
All right.
So Iran wanted to build a pipeline connect Iran into Pakistan, which Pakistan is the rive of energy. They need oil. They need gasoline. And also, what's stopping this is United States sanctions on Iran. When Iran sanction is done, Iran sanctions of the pipeline is done. We in Pakistan now, the southern part, we're going to go into this area later on and show you how this correlates. But India and Pakistan beef so much, Iran cannot get the oil into India. India worked with Iran. Iran, so solidarity towards Pakistan, a Muslim nation, in Kashmir. The interest of oil is not, India is Iran friend. No, it is interest. A lot of these channels and these trades is not because they are friends. It is what is at their interest at this time. So from that attack, after the attack right now, it's a ceasefire. The ceasefire is holding up.
Yeah, because that's because Pakistan was threatening them with the nuclear options already. So that just goes more with what I was saying, that Pakistan really don't have too much in this fight. They don't have any type of real hardcore military equipment to strike back with. So that's why they're going right for the nuclear option.
Yes, yeah. So now we leaving India and Pakistan. We're gonna go into Pakistan backer because we told you some people gonna feel consequences. Some people taking step forward. In China case, they taking a step forward. They like, hey, we provide Pakistan with jets, missiles. We don't like India. That's China saying that. Why? Because India support the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama is the spiritual and leader of the Buddhists of Tibet. And China claims sovereignty over Tibet. So now it's a piece of India that China claims, but India controls it. So let's get into this story.
The list has 27 locations, including 15 mountains, 5 residential areas, 4 mountain passes, 2 rivers, and 1 lake. All Indian, but Beijing has given them Chinese names. Now, this is the 5th such list that China has issued. The first one came in 2017, close to the Galwan clash. In the last 8 years, China has renamed more than 80 locations in India. You could say this does not mean very much. These lists are only symbolic. Their names mean nothing really. And yet, it's a deliberate provocation. This is part of China's strategy of salami slicing, where you make incremental moves, seemingly minor moves, but their combined effect is major and significant. China claims the entire Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. They call it Zangnan, or South Tibet.
Zangnan is China's territory. The Chinese government standardizing the names of some places in Zangnan is completely within China's sovereign rights.
Man,
Chinese don't play, brother.
They naming territory in another country. They not giving translations. They not giving the Chinese version of the Indian names. They literally renaming it. It's a tactic in the military. You can say, hey, if let's put New York City. If I say, hey, we're going to do an operation in Brooklyn, everybody who hears that will know we're going to do an operation in Brooklyn and they're going to stop it. So if I change the name of Brooklyn and call it the land of the polecats, they won't take that serious and everybody's going to forget. But later on, if I tell my people like, hey, we're going to meet at the land of the polecat and we're going to do what we have to do. It's already on the maps. We already got the strategic advantage. It's just like you put a circle around yourself and tell people, do not touch the circle. Do not even come in the circle. And somebody say, okay, I'm not going in your circle. I'm not going to touch your circle. But they take a rope and go around your circle. You're like, bro, leave my circle alone. They say, I'm not touching it. I'm not going in it. But they lay that rope around them. And when that time comes, they yank that rope, and that rope going to go in your circle and grab you because it's surrounding you. They just put a lasso around it.
If you ask me, I feel like the Chinese is using the tactics that Hitler used pre-World War II when he was annexing certain areas of Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doing it a little bit at a time. It's not enough for you to cause a problem with. It's not enough to cause a battle or go to war over. But like the reporter said in the story, the compilation of these things actually becomes one big problem in the end of the day. It's going to be a problem.
And I know what you're talking about too, because World War I, they chopped up pieces of Germany and gave some to Poland, gave some to Austria, and gave some to different areas. And then Hitler said, hey, I want these territories. So now let's go to China. The Chinese empires and stuff before the British Empire came in now, Tibet, these lands was different boundaries, different borders, different defined. And China taking over Tibet, looking at old maps and old scrolls, say, hey, the British carved up territory and gave it to India that did not belong to them. India like, hey, since our independence, this been our sovereign land and we'll stand for it.
Yeah, that sounds just like what China trying to do over there in the South China Sea too, right?
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of that right now, China. They're going to the ancient maps that they got in their depositories, in their scholastic academia, and they want to see where the dynasties had the original borders at, and they're trying to reclaim those territories and those lands back under to the Chinese Empire, because if I remember correctly, the modern China is blaming that a lot too on Genghis Khan as well, because Genghis Khan is also a reason why a lot of that northern India, Pakistan, China, Afghanistan region is the way it is because of the time of Genghis Khan when he went up in there.
So now we went from China. See, India is a country like America. We don't follow other countries. We make decision making. India don't follow China and Russia. They don't follow America. They decision makers for their own interest. And with that, it don't benefit United States. So with NATO, talking about NATO and Turkey, attacking Turkey during the time of the first attacks, Turkey sent an aircraft carrier. They sent weapons to Pakistan. They also gave drones, witness of that, supplies, and they also sent military. With that, they showed their solidarity and their support for Pakistan, another Muslim nation. Them and a country called Azerbaijan. That is a Turkish country in the Caucasus region, and they just had a conflict with the media. So what did the India do to actually help themselves and actually stick it to Turkey? How did they stick it to Turkey? How they show Turkey that they have a voice? China got a mass population. If all of China stopped trading everything that United States sells, our economy would dip. If India stopped buying from a country or supporting a country, it will hurt the country hard. And that's what India did. India started boycotting Turkey and Azerbaijan. They boycott traveling for vacation and tourism spots. And they also boycotted their apples, as we showed on the other show, and much, much more. So let's get into it.
Boycott Turkey and Azerbaijan is trending on various social media platforms. From ordinary Indian citizens to influencers and even travel and tourism platforms have been sharing the message since Turkey and Azerbaijan's role in helping Pakistan during Operation Sindoor came to light. Platforms like Go Home Stays, along with Exigo Ease My Trip, have taken similar steps. Exigo's managing director and chief executive officer Alok Bajpai, in a post on the social media platform X on Saturday, May 10th, announced that the company is suspending all hotel and flight bookings to Turkey, China and Azerbaijan amid the ongoing India and Pakistan conflict. And it is not just tourists who are boycotting Turkey, Azerbaijan and China. The call for a boycott in case of Turkey now includes apples as well. Indian traders who import Turkish apples have also joined the boycott chorus. Consequently, Turkish apples have vanished from the market, leading to a rise in apple prices from Iran. Wholesale prices for 10 kg of apples have increased by Rs 200 to 300, while retail prices have risen by Rs 20 to 30 per kg.
That is impact. That's what a great nation, a nation with a great population can do. Boycott country goods. Apples in India might raise a little bit, but they okay with that. Because supply and demand. Now you gotta find another source to fill in the spots of the apples that you not getting from Turkey. So economy, they gonna fix it. The people of India spoken and they say, hey, we won't just go after the terrorists. We're gonna look for the terrorists. We're gonna hit their training bases. We're going to also punish their supporters. And India is making that decision. But behind that, United States play a part, play a good part. It's hiding its hand. We're gonna creep to that. We're gonna creep to that, Shin. I wanna show you a little bit United States hand. I added to it how United States playing in this, and we're gonna go back to that pipeline. So we see.
I already had a feeling once I seen Turkey was up involved. I had a feeling that it was a backwards way of the CIA and them getting involved.
Yes.
But I said that on the original show that the CIA was probably all up through Pakistan when they did the initial attack anyway. Because
Pakistan been our friend since the Cold War.
But I think it extends even beyond Pakistan. Pakistan right now is just the patsy, you know what I'm saying? Because the CIA is over there because they need to put a full stop on the BRICS Bank. And India is a major player in the BRICS Bank. And like I was saying on the previous show, having this conflict inside of Pakistan and India, Kashmir, it's causing more tension between China and India, which China and India is two of the main players in the BRICS Bank. And I keep telling people to realize the main war that's being fought right now in World War III is economic. It's not militarily. The military aspect right now is just for show. Because you can't make no money off dead folks. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. And that's why what's the first thing they just set up in that you just showed us in that story? They talking about selling apples. People can't be dead off of warfare and you still be able to sell apples.
Yeah.
We have common sense out here. Resource needs people to buy it. United States wants to control the means of being able to purchasing power. We know this already. That's why Iran right now is in the negotiations with Donald Trump and the United States government, try to come up with a plan to step down the nuclear element in order for Iran to be able to upgrade their purchasing power, their economic strength.
Yes, yeah. So we talked about India attacked Pakistan. Pakistan attacked India. China renaming territory of India. India going after Turkey for supporting Pakistan and Azerbaijan. And now we're going to go inside Pakistan. Let me show this map real quick. Okay, present share screen. Okay, here you go. Can you see it, or you need me to blow it up? This good? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. This the area, where the Naga Hills at. Before this Naga Hills, well, bombing Putra. On the other side of that, to the north, this is the area China want to claim. In this northern part, you have pieces belong to China. This is Kashmir in the Himalayan mountains. So now we're going to come here into Pakistan on the southern edge. So now let's go ahead and share the video of what's going on inside of Pakistan, because Pakistan is at war. They at war with people in their own country. And this is the story.
So let me tell you about the war that Pakistan does not want the world to see. Balochistan is Pakistan's largest province. It makes up 44% of their land. It is rich in minerals like gold, copper and oil. It is at the heart of China's multi-billion-dollar pet project, CPEC, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So Balochistan is wealthy. Pakistan people do not have schools or hospitals. Do you know what they have? They have checkposts, army convoys, and forced disappearances. Thousands of Balochis have vanished, kidnapped, tortured, and killed. Hundreds of women have been raped. Pakistan's army calls it counter-terrorism, but let's call a spade a spade. This is oppression by the Pakistani army. And the Baloch are no longer complaining. They're fighting back. The Baloch Liberation Army, or the BLA, is leading the charge. They have been on an attacking spree. Let me show you some numbers. The BLA carried out 71 attacks in 1 week. 71 attacks in 1 week. This was across 51 locations in Balochistan. Their main target was the Pakistani army. Military convoys were ambushed. Posts were destroyed and captured, and a gas pipeline operated by China was blown up. All in the last 1 week. Last Saturday, the BLA even captured a city. And these are not isolated incidents.
Let me close this out. Economic, conventional, and unconventional warfare. let me pull up this other map. Let me pull up the map that I had earlier. So put a little content of what's going on. That area where the pipeline from Iran to run through this area where the Pakistani is fighting these freedom fighters in Balochistan. The pipeline would have went more south into Karachi and could be shipped into India by way of sea, or go more into northern Pakistan, and then Pakistan could regulate how much oil flow go into India. This trade, this could be a big trade agreement that would brought cash into Pakistan, and they would have cheaper oil and gasoline. Have cheapest oil and gasoline from Iran, and it would have been shipped to India, where the market would have been eating it up.
Right. And that would have been helped them. That would have helped them have some leverage too in this situation, in this nuclear deal, because they would have had a market to be able to sell their oil at that's outside of the world economy. You know what I mean? Because that's their next door neighbors.
Yes, yeah. And so let me go back to this map. If I'm the United States or I'm the CIA, and I'm Iran intelligence, if I'm India intelligence, I would ship weapons to Balochistan to support the freedom fighters. Why? Because if you get Balochistan into a whole new country, India do not have to deal with the Iranians, because the Iranians is going through sanctions. They don't have to deal with the Iranians to ship goods to Afghanistan. The Afghanistan, they love India merchandise. They buy from the Indies. They beefing with the Pakistanians. So the Indians, they sell to Afghanistan, but they do not have a land corridor or a sea corridor into Afghanistan. So they skip Pakistan and go to Iran and ship the goods. And the Iranians would have benefited India with a pipeline. But United States told Pakistan we would sanction you. And by the time that India is trying to build their economy and growing themselves and trying to get their foothold steady, because they buy oil from Russia, and United States trying to sell military weapons to India. So if I'm trying to sell weapons to India and I sell weapons to Pakistan, I would want India to see the type of weapons at use. But hardly any American weapons was used in this conflict. So talking about America, Shin, we're gonna go into what Donald Trump had to say, because he had a few things had to say about the ceasefire and the outcome dealing with trade and much more. Let's hear what our president Donald Trump had to say.
in West Asia right now, and once again he boasted about mediating a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Listen to this.
And by the way, I don't want to say I did, but I sure as hell helped settle the problem between Pakistan and India last week, which was getting more and more hostile. And we talked to them about trade. Let's do trade instead of do war. And Pakistan was very happy with that, and India was very happy with that. And how long have you been fighting? About 1,000 years. Oh, that's a lot. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about settling. That's a tough one.
It's funny every time I hear he say thousands of years. I don't know if he just ignorant or it's like a joke. But the ceasefire is holding up. They need to reestablish trade talks. But I think India more into bilateral trade and relationship, not what they call it, unilateral. When you have many people coming together to try to hash out a problem.
And you heard what he said. He's trying to solve it economically instead of them having to go to a military conflict.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we've been just saying on this whole show. The economic is more important. That's the whole reason why they're fighting over the territory is economic. So we need to get and if you ask me in a world scale, this is not just a Pakistan-India problem, it's a worldwide problem. You know what I'm saying? People are starting to get a little stingy with the resource. Some people are trying to fight for the control of their own resource. Example, Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, Ghana. There's a lot of countries out here right now that are trying to maintain control of their own resource. And it seems like people is getting more and more selfish, more controlling. But if you ask me, the more that they're trying to be controlling and shutting it down, the more that it actually is hurting them in the long run, if you ask me, because we live in a globalist time. We live in a globalist society. It's a global time, right? Thanks to the internet, thanks to people being able to jump on a jet. You know what I mean? It's not really any space in the world anymore for these lack of cooperations and lack of integrations when it comes to the economic striving of countries and their populace. You have to be able to raise up your people with these economic prosperity instead of losing population by going to war. It's that simple. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's more than enough resource on the earth. You know what I mean? There's more than enough element for people to be able to make a profit. And it's not a limited resource. So we just need to get some diplomacy and some strategy. You know what I mean? Stop the violence. The violence is overriding what prosperity could be made.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next clip.
The amount of ignorance out there. Like we've said before, the Kashmir issue is not thousands of years old. It dates back to 1947. Also, what's this obsession with trade? Kashmir is a deeply emotional issue for India and Pakistan. You think they would settle it over trade? Pakistan may need the money, but India is under no such pressure. Today, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar made India's position clear. All dealings with Pakistan will be bilateral.
Our relations, our dealings with them will be bilateral and strictly bilateral. That is a national consensus for many years. and there is absolutely no change in that consensus that dealings with Pakistan will be bilateral.
India is saying we are big dogs. We part of the global south. We big dogs. We don't need our handhold. We can make our own decision for our security purpose. We got Russia as an ally and a friend who always been with us. They hit us up. They said that de-escalate the situation, but they're going to stand with us. And I respect that. They want us to calm down so it won't go into nuclear war, but they're going to stand with us when it's time. But we told Russia, sit back, just relax. We're going to deal with it now. We're going to deal with it. We don't need America on Pakistan's side try to do shady dealings to benefit them. We don't need no negotiator or no middleman who looking out for the interest that they could pull a wall trying to shove a deal on the both sides. India say, hey, Pakistan, you man enough to attack us? You man enough to talk that noise? You could be man enough to come and settle this difference. We don't need charity cases, economic incentive. We doing good. But Pakistan, if you want peace, you got to come to us.
Well, you just got to think about it like this, right? Economically, it would be a good benefit for both sides.
Yes.
But like they said, India doesn't need the economic benefit. That's why they don't see it as an option. But also, like I was saying earlier in the show, India needs to be careful because you don't want to draw the United States into there on a military capacity because you know, the easiest way to say it is United States, we won't hesitate to go up into a conflict zone. And the easiest way is if they try to pull NATO into it off them Turkish drones, Turkish airstrikes, whatever they want to call it, that if they try to come with a serious proposal, then you get what we have now, the ceasefire. It's only a ceasefire, though. It's not really a treaty. It's just an agreement, temporary agreement. And we just really need these folks over there to come together and actually negotiate what's going on. Because if they're really going to try to bring this into a conflict and inflation of the actual hard parts of the conflict, the fighting, the drones, the bombings, then if Pakistan has to, they will, like they already said, they're calling on the World Economic Forum. And we know who's funding the World Economic Forum. We don't even got to go too deep into that. That's the United States. So, yeah, I mean, there's multiple ways that if it starts getting out of hand, the United States will be able to step into the fray. And like you said, though, it's not really beneficial for Pakistan or India for the United States to be involved because personally, we just gonna find some way to make it strictly beneficial for the United States.
Look, yeah. And I was just thinking.
And you know already, and if you ask me, hold on, one more thing.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, the United States, we can't wait to have a reason to be up in Pakistan, physically up in Pakistan. Because then we're right there on the eastern front of Iran as well now. So now not only we would have Iran completely surrounded. Yeah. So there is a military strategic benefit for the United States by going and helping Pakistan in this conflict.
And also, to add on to that, we dealing with some situation that can be solved financially, but we gotta see the dirty hands behind that, the backers. And one, like what we showed at the end with Donald Trump, the problem is that if a pizza costs $11 from Little Caesar, and I paid $9, and a few people put $1, 9, 10, 11. That means 2 people put $1. By me putting in that $9, I'm the majority shareholder. I could say how much pizza your $1 really worth. I give you 2 slices or just 1 slice and say you just paid $1. What should I give you? So now, with that case, United States is the biggest, the number 1 donor of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. They give grants and loans to help development countries get loans and grants to help develop their country. United States, the biggest donor. So they could veto other donors and other states that contribute. And India went to the UN and said, Pakistan do not need no bailout because the money will go and fuel their military. Right after the United States approved that, we in this incident. During the same time, the terrorist attack, Donald Trump, our president, his family business. His family business just signed a major deal with Pakistan. They're going to make Pakistan a cyber currency hub of Southeast Asia. That's big development. Pakistan need financial reform. They might be doing it like the experiment coin, but you have China and United States fighting for influence in Pakistan. But Pakistan might be a notion like, hey, we can use everybody who can help us. We just got to see. No matter how this situation ends, we here at News will be here to tell you the development stories. What's going on? What need to happen? What we analyze that might occur next, because a lot of times, if y'all go to the other shows, you could look at it and realize like, hey, Shin said something that later on is true. Henry said something, and now I can see it occurring. Analyzing things, seeing it. It's not like we could we not future telling, we not psychic, but we can analyze things, and we can see how something acts every day and say, hey, this person walked through this trail every day. Now looking at this person heading that direction, we can analyze that person is going through that trail again because that is his habit. That's the path that we can see this person taking. And we can see these countries taking this path as at this point, I don't believe that we are at an edge of a nuclear holocaust or on the edge of a world catastrophe. I think this is going to occur for a few more years, but I hope with us as human beings, without looking at greed, to actually come and accomplish things, that Pakistan and India could come to the table without outside influence and create a peace. Because I'm like this. I understand that if Pakistan was full of YT people and India was full of black people and they was beefing. No. Most of these people are the same people. Most of them
I was about to say that earlier. The prime minister of India and the prime minister in Pakistan, they look like they could be related.
Yeah. So we gotta cut it early tonight, but we made this show happen. Thanks to Shin Akuma and myself. We made sure the bills was paid. We made sure we got up here today and dropped this knowledge that the videos was right, that we did our research, freshen up a little bit to come to you correct. I want to thank everybody because the video showed that 3 people was on consecutively for a long period of time. More people could have came on, but it don't show that sometimes. But it showed a good amount of people showed up on the live. I want to appreciate you all for coming and watching the show. If you made it this far, please like, share, and subscribe. We is at 831. We need a little bit more to make it to 900. And from 900, we'll make it to that 1,000. And I believe once we make that 1,000, our shorts will hit another algorithm and people will see our material as it is and come flooding. But right now, we doing our grassroots method of going on the streets, at the club. Here we go to the club. No. It's a bus stop, but I call it the club. Me and my girl, we call it the club. It's a bus stop. I'll go to the club. But it be jamming up there at that bus stop. You feel? Never in the working service. I be dropping that knowledge though. But thank y'all. One more time, we appreciate you all for coming watch the live, the short, the video. Leaving the comment. Your little comment to you is little, but to us, it's a great joy. Every time I look inside the analytic and see somebody comment, it light my heart up. It showed the support and it showed that, hey, our message reaching someone. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, Shin, you have any last words for the audience?
Hey, you know what I got to say. Positive vibe bring positive results. Positive results means you're accomplishing your goals. Just because you're going through negative circumstance don't mean you can't get a positive outcome. So stick with it. You know what I mean? Learn a new skill. Holla at us.
Yes.
Team, boy one.
Peace, love, and blessing. Another time. This is Newsroom. Never in the work and service. Newsroom 16.1, where you could rely on us to drop the information.